that I have, they are slightly different, but they are pretty the same. It's just on this one that I have, it mentions where you need to present. So this presentation is going to take place between 16 and 22 September. Please mark my English. This presentation is going to take place between 16 and 22 September. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not going to take place from 16 to 22 September like you normally do. So any day between 16 and 22 September, you guys are going to present. I'm still waiting to hear from Flume Digital Marketing Agency, but I highly encourage you guys that by the 16th of September, your presentation should be ready. So tough luck for students who normally do things at the last minute, because this one you have to be done by the 16th of September. Your slides have to be ready. Okay. Obunolo, am I making any sense?
Yes.
Okay. The reason why your presentation has to be ready by the 16th of September, it is because you are going to present at Flume. So it will be an audition style setting whereby the head of digital strategy at Flume is going to assess you. So you are going to present in his presence. He's going to be the judge as you proceed with your presentation. So this is also an opportunity to mark you guys at industry level, you know. It's an opportunity for you guys to have the actual feel of how you need to present in the industry, especially at an agency level, because Flume is an agency. It's also an opportunity for you guys to have marks from someone else, right? Maybe I've been very stingy.
Yes.
Or maybe I've been very harsh. So stuff like that. Then you are going to submit an electronic copy on Call Campus. So once you have done your presentation, I'm not yet sure whether the presentation is going to start first or the submission is going to start, but I'd prefer that you guys present first, then you submit an electronic copy on Core Campus. So this is how you are going to submit an electronic copy of your presentation. Remember, during the presentation, you are only going to present for 5 minutes, so it will be limited to 5 minutes. But with the electronic copy, you are going to answer, the questions the same way that you normally do when you are submitting your normal assignment. So all the answers that you mentioned in your presentation, you can now put them on Core Campus in a more detailed manner. Because on Core Campus, you are not going to be limited by time, but the same rule would apply that your pages shouldn't be more than 15. So I normally say that I don't want more than 10 pages, if you can remember. But with this presentation, I can allow up to 15 pages. But we are going to discuss that at the bottom of this brief. So as indicated, this formative assessment event takes the form of an individual physical presentation. So you have to be there. Nothing is going to be done online. Nothing is going to be done virtually. You have to be there, and you need to present at Flume Digital Marketing Agency, of course, except for Durban students. As I've told you, that I'm also going to take Pretoria students to Bryanston. So it is going to cover everything that we have done so far from the first semester until now. And there are other lessons that we are going to cover before the 16th of September. Lessons such as website management that you guys can also use in your digital strategy. So you need to be expected to demonstrate your understanding of applying theory. Remember, you have got very time limit. You just need to apply the theory. You don't need to explain the theory. Don't explain what the marketing mix is, for example. Do not explain what pastel is, for example. You just need to apply. If it is the marketing mix, tell us how you would use the product. Tell us how you would use pricing. Tell us how you would use promotion, people evidence, and stuff like that. You don't need to describe to us what promotion is, because we have already done that in class. Now you need to apply to the real life scenario out there. So if you only provide theory, if you only tell us what a strategy is without telling us how you are going to use a strategy, you are not going to get any marks. So this assignment is going to be out of 100. Then you are going to have extra 10 marks for your conduct. So because this is a live assignment, whereby you are going to be assessed on the go, the assessor is going to look at how you present as an individual, how you project your voice. For example, are you being too loud or are you whispering? Because there are some people who would be in front on the stage. You can't hear anything that they are saying. So you need to be assessed based on the voice. You need to be assessed based on eye contact. Are you engaging with the audience? I'll come back to you, Ovunolo. Please don't forget your point. Are you engaging with the audience? Are you maintaining any eye contact, or you are presenting and you are looking elsewhere? Are you properly dressed? I know this issue of attire is always a big issue with the nowadays generation, because, with the notion of inclusion and diversity, we are not allowed to tell people what to wear, considering different cultural backgrounds, religious backgrounds. But it is always imperative for you as a practitioner to look presentable, So we can't tell you whether you are wearing revealing clothes or not, but, you need to be assessed based on your attire, whether whatever that you're wearing is not offensive and it's also not distracting the audience, as well being public indecency, if you get what I mean. So you are going to be assessed based on your attire and based on your professional conduct, the language that you use. Yes, you can be using English, but you have got academic language and the usual slang that we use in our informal setups. There are people who are used to swearing, every sentence you are using fuck, this and that. So you cannot use that kind of language. So you are going to be assessed based on your language, as well as based on your temper. Some people can lose it during presentations because you are being asked too many questions. It then becomes very personal. You are going to be assessed based on creativity. And so everything that I've mentioned so far is going to cover the additional 10 marks. Now I can come to you, Ogunole, and I hope you didn't forget what you wanted to ask.
I wanted to ask, since the 100 marks is for the presentation, so it means what we're submitting on the call campus will not be marked.
It will be marked. Remember, once you are assessed at Flume, Stephanie is the head of department who is going to assess you guys. He's going to share the marks with me. So I need to fill in the marks there on core campus. So even if you do not submit anything under the additional marks, anyway, you normally don't submit anything under additional marks for referencing and, you know, precise use of language and stuff like that. But I'm going to put marks there. Are you answered?
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm answered. So what I'm trying to understand is that like the
Mhm.
100 marks will fully come from the presentation.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm quickly going through to Core Campus. I just want to show you something while we are talking about this, because I want you to be as straightforward as possible so that you can sleep peacefully, Obunolo. I want to play my part so that tomorrow you don't say that, say you were too harsh, I didn't understand your comments. Okay, well, at least I'm just waiting for Core Campus to open. Is there anything that you guys need to highlight with regards to everything that I've said so far?
No.
Okay. You can just still keep thinking about something that you need clarification on. But as I've always said, guys, my door is always open, my virtual door, since I never meet you in class. But, you know, it depends with how busy your schedule is. I'm going to show my full-time students how to present. I'm going to show them a pitch that I worked on when I was doing my master's at UJ. So it's almost the same thing that you guys are doing, because we're asked to go and present that pitch at Discovery in Show. And these guys, they used our pitch without paying us. Because I saw it on advert 2 years. I think it was 1 year later or 2 years later. But for us, it was for academic purposes. So you are free to join my full-time class, you know, where I can show them. Otherwise, I can try to do that virtually, but you know, these things always work better when you are doing it physically. For example, right now you can't even see my face, how I'm expressing myself. What if I'm insulting you guys with my eyes here? You would never know. Yeah, I can do that, Razia. While I'm busy talking to guys and my face is saying something like, yo, these students. Can you see the core campus screen now?
Yes.
So this is the rubric that is on core campus. It's the same thing that is in the brief, right? But you guys are going to do everything here in form of a presentation. Then once you are done with your presentation, I don't know if you can see my mouse.
Yes.
Yes, so under each question, you go and fill up the answers. Like, for example, for 1.1, you go and fill your answers and I'm going to put your mark. You do this for everything here like you do normally when you're submitting um your your F1 or F2 assessment. Then here, as you can see where it says individual presentation, these are the additional marks. I am going to put marks here. The same way that you guys do with your normal assignment, there will be additional marks for referencing, additional marks for good use of English and stuff like that. I'm going to put marks there. So altogether, it will be out of 110. But remember, this 10, you don't have to fill anything on the extra 10. You fill all your answers from 0 to 100%. Does it make sense now, Obunolo?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Please don't feel like you're putting any pressure on me, Obunolo. If you do not understand, you do not understand, and I can always try by all means to explain and explain until we are on the same page. All right, I'm back to the brief. I don't know if you guys you can see the screen that I'm sharing now.
Yes.
All right, so there's a brief a challenge that you guys have been given. Remember, this is a non-existent brand. So if you go out there and try to look for information, you won't find any because this brand doesn't exist. But we want you guys as marketing practitioners to bring this brand to life. So what you need to go and find out there are the customer insights and how you can generate an idea based on the insights that you are getting from the customer. So that's the whole exercise. I'm going to read through this challenge for you, but remember, you also need to go through it during your own spare time and when you are actually doing the presentation. So read the following campaign brief and answer the questions that follow. So the questions that you are going to answer in form of a presentation, of course. Single Punch is an African traditionally distilled beverage made in South Africa, mainly for urban suburbs. The exquisite beverage is brewed from maize, though finger millets and various fruits like banana peels can also be used. The process involves adding the brewer's yeast together with carbohydrate sources such as maize husks to warm water and heating the mixture for a few minutes. Single Punch is then distilled after it has fully fermented. The alcohol content of Single Punch is 45%, and a single punch can drown away your sorrows. So I don't know if you guys are well aware of African homemade beers. You know, in Zulu, they call it umqombothi. Have you come across that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Are you also aware with alcohol percentage in any beverage?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm now going to answer a very personal question. Do you guys drink?
Um, no, not anymore. I used to drink in my younger days, but since 2021, no, I haven't.
Reza, how old are you when you tell me your younger days?
No. Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you, let's just
Now
all
it worries me.
okay, I will be 30 in September.
Okay. So in your younger days, you're actually two. Because when you said in your younger days, yo, I was like, before independence during apartheid.
No.
Okay, you used to drink, then you stopped. All right, Obunolo,
I do drink
1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Okay.
5 and 6.
All right, there's no problem whether you drink or not. The reason why I asked you guys whether you drink or not, I want to see if you are familiar with the brief that is being presented to you, because in most cases you can be presented with something that you have never been exposed to. And sometimes it can actually be more difficult, you know, especially if it's something that you cannot resonate with at personal level. At least if something that you are more familiar with, you have used it yourself, it's something that you can relate to, Unfortunately, I don't know, maybe my taste is boring. I've struggled to drink many times, but I don't drink at all. I've never been drunk and I don't know how to be drunk, you know. With peer pressure and everything, you try, people they force you, but this thing is always bitter on my tongue. So I don't know, maybe ngislima. I wouldn't know, but yes, I don't drink. It's not for religious reasons or for morality reasons or whatever you might think. It's just that it doesn't go well with my veins or with my blood. Anyway, based on my research and everything that I've come across, is that a normal beer beverage would have around 6% alcohol content. Is that so?
Yeah.
Like your Heineken, your Kasulaga, what's the percentage there?
They're usually around like a 4.5, 5.5, right? I don't know.
Okay. So it means this 45% is way too more to drown your sorrows away. If undiluted, of course.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you can't not dilute this thing. 45? Wow.
But are there any people can drink like without diluting from 30% and above? Or whatever percentage?
To be honest, yes.
Really?
People drink Hennessy just like that, just straight from the bottle. And that's, I don't know how much percent. It must be like 40, 45.
I don't know. Does this thing kill anyway? Maybe it doesn't kill. Okay. Let's go back to our challenge. So now the challenge is when you drive, never drink. It's a message Single Punch is passionate about because responsible drinking is at the core of Single Punch. It may be a serious message, but that does not mean it cannot be shared in a fun way. Therefore, you are challenged to create a digital marketing campaign that will drive awareness and reward Single Punch youth customers for responsible drinking. The budget for the campaign is between 1.5 million rands and 2 million rands. The budget excludes production costs. I'm going to repeat that again. When you drive, never drink. It's a message Single Punch is passionate about because responsible drinking is at the core of Single Punch. It may be a serious message, but that does not mean it cannot be shared in a fun way. Therefore, you are challenged to create a digital marketing campaign that will drive awareness and reward Single Punch youth customers for responsible drinking. The budget for the campaign is between 1,500,000 rands to 2 million rands. The budget excludes production costs. It's a simple thing that you are being asked to do there, right? Is it hard, guys?
No. So they're asking us to create a campaign and the budget excludes production costs. When they say production, do they mean like the shooting of the advert?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So production is the shooting or the recording, anything involved in coming up with that content. It excludes that.
Okay.
All right. So that's the challenge. Now the task. You have recently been employed as the new digital
Sorry.
marketing. Yes.
So can you please go up again? So it is
Again.
saying that a campaign that will drive awareness and reward single punch youth customers for drinking responsible. Can you please elaborate on the rewarding part?
Okay. I will use an example of insurance companies. Like, can you please name any insurance company that you know, guys, for cars?
Outsurance.
Oh, Outsurance. All right. Let's use Outsurance. You know, Outsurance provides short-term insurance for vehicles, for motor vehicles. So their uh, service or their business, their core business is to provide insurance. But Assurance would realize that, you know, if we do not create campaigns around driving, we will be getting many claims from the policy holders, the insurance policy holders. So now let's come up with a campaign that will reward good drivers. So what does that mean? It means that if you increase the behavior of good driving, you are going to get less claims from insurance, right? So now your car will be fitted with telematics or whatever technology that they will put in that car, so that it checks your clutching or your acceleration, and you get rewarded on that. You get free fuel, you know, per month fuel voucher, or you get free, what do you call this? You get free maintenance for your car or service for your car for driving well. So that's one of the reward programs that a vehicle, a short-term insurance company would do, you know. Even medical aids nowadays, they are having rewarding products, programs whereby they are encouraging people to remain healthy. The more people are healthy, the more there are less death claims or whatever hospital claims. So it is the same thing that you can apply in responsible drinking. You know, now it seems I'm now giving you answers, which is not good. For example, you can reward those. Remember, the campaign is around responsible driving, right? So it means that if you go out and drink when you are driving, you are not a responsible single punch customer. So now you can reward customers who drink at home, for example. Or you can reward customers who go to drink with a personal driver who does not drink. I don't know if I'm making any sense, Obunolo.
Yes, you are making sense. Thank you.
So you say, you know, if you drink at home, you can get beer for a discount of 20%, or you can get unlimited bottles of beer. But if you go and drink elsewhere, because we want you to be responsible, want you to don't get too drunk, you can only have one bottle. So reward does not only come in terms of uh, monetary incentive. It can be anything that can motivate customers to be responsible. You can use rewards in many things. Even, you know, if you've got a campaign to encourage the youth to have safe sex, you know, stuff like that. There are so many campaigns out there.
Okay, that makes a lot of
Are you
sense.
answered, babe?
I am. Thank you.
Good. All right. Can we move on?
Yes.
Because you asked me to scroll. So now can I hours? All right, you have recently been employed as the new digital marketing strategist for Single Punch. You need to formulate a digital marketing strategy that will raise awareness in drunk driving. So here, you need to come up with an idea that is going to, promote responsiveness. So your idea can even say about the dangers of drunk driving and stuff like that. You are just raising awareness. And then in that idea, you also need to come up with something that will, encourage or reward the youth customers who are doing things right, like who are drinking responsibly. So conduct a thorough research that will inform your strategy and answer the following questions. So the first one, it's you introducing yourself. Then you say, what is it that you're going to be looking at? So you sort of provide an action plan of what is it that you want to talk about, how you come up with a strategy and how you are going to implement that strategy. So you just provide a brief overview of what your strategy wants to achieve based on the given brief and the budget and the target audience. So you don't have to go astray. The pitch has given you the things that you need to look at. So for example, in the pitch, if it says the budget is between 1 million and 2 million, you can't give us a strategy that is going to go beyond that. Clients will tell you that we cannot afford this. That's why we gave you this amount. You can't propose another target audience to the client unless if you have got good justifications to say, ignore the youths, let's focus on the young adults, or let's focus on the baby boomers instead. But you need to stick to the scope of the brief that you have been given. You need to highlight what is it that you are going to do in each stage. So here you are just providing an action plan. My name is Obunolo Babe. I'm going to talk about A, B, C, D. This is the strategy that I've come up across, and I'm going to apply it in this manner. I'm going to use these channels, blah, blah, blah. So that's just your introduction. And you're going to be given 10 marks for introducing yourself and the presentation that you're going to talk about. Then now, before you tell us about your idea in depth, we need to see whether you have done proper research before coming up with a strategy. Remember, as I told you guys last semester, it is always crucial to conduct research before you come up with a strategy. That strategy has to speak to the trends, to something that is currently happening in society. So the strategy must not be disjointed or be provided in isolation. It has to speak to reality. So you need to go and identify the trends of drunk driving. How can you raise awareness in drunk driving if you do not know what is currently happening at the moment on the roads and in communities? So this is the purpose of the exercise. You need to identify the trends of drunk driving in South Africa and focus on the youths. So do a thorough research about drunk driving and find out what causes road accidents. There are so many things that causes road accidents. You just need to tell us something that is related to this pitch. Of course, you can mention that road accidents are not only caused by drunkards. They can be human error, for example. They can be mechanical faults of the cars that people are driving with. They can be the poor infrastructure and so forth. But here we want the focus to be on drunk driving, the road rage that people would cause when they are drunk. You guys know what road rage is, right?
Yes. And just a question quickly. This research, it can be primary or secondary research, right?
Yes. We just need to see that whatever that you are saying is based on facts, not assumptions. So you'd find this kind of source at Arrive Alive. I don't know if you know Arrive Alive. They
Yes.
always report on accidents. They've got a Twitter handle and they've got social media handles. You can always find this kind of information, even from the police. I know that annually the police release in-depth reports on everything that is happening in terms of crime, and it also includes drunk driving. So find out which provinces have many accidents. Is it happening more in Limpopo? Is there a specific season for drunk driving? Is it during Easter holidays, for example? Is it in December? Remember, you are going to do a SMART objective in question 4. The one that says, how specific is it? How measurable is it? How time-bound? So this exercise of identifying trends is going to help you when developing a strategy, because if it's something that normally happens in Easter, you have a campaign that would suit Easter. If it's something that normally happens during Xmas or New Year, you can come up with something that you can contextualize to the season. What about insurance claims and so on? So maybe you can even get statistics from insurance companies about people who are claiming or having insurance claims as a result of drunk driving. Okay. So once you've done that, you then conduct a pestle analysis on your findings about drunk driving in South Africa. So once you have known the things that causes road rage, for example, based on the research that you're going to do, once you have known the season for drunk driving, whatever results that you're going to get out of the research that you're going to conduct, you then identify social and economic factors influencing drunk driving amongst the youths. So your pestle analysis is only, as you can see, that only is in caps. You are not going to do all the environmental factors. So you can't talk about technological factors there. You can't talk about legal factors there. You can't talk about environmental factors. You can't talk about political factors, unless if those factors say some aspects of social and economic factors. So I'll give you an example of a factor. Let's say it's political. If a government has got tougher labor laws, those labor laws can influence the economy of the country. There will be many unemployment, so that becomes economic. So that's how you can link it to economic factors. But here the focus must be on social and economic factors. Are people getting drunk because it has got something to do with their social status, for example? Here I'm talking getting drunk. I'm talking about getting drunk irresponsibly. Remember, the campaign is all about responsible drinking. So are people getting drunk irresponsible because of economic factors? That they are so stressed about the economy now they want to drown away their sorrows? Remember, a single punch, a single one can drown away your sorrows. Or are people having the peer pressure from the friends that if you don't get drunk and clock 120 kilometers per hour in a 60 kilometers per hour zone, you are not man enough or you are not woman enough? So you need to go and identify these factors that influence drunk driving amongst the youth in South Africa. So we are done with question 1, both part 1 and part 2. Before we move on to question 2, are there any questions or any queries, additions or subtractions?
I have a question. So with regard to the the first point of 1.2, where you must conduct the research, get the statistics, can we like have like graphs and infographics to show these things, you know, to make like our presentation?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yes, definitely can do that. But remember, especially you, Razia, no offense, you talk too much, always have many information. Remember, you've got only 5 minutes.
Yes. Oh man. Already I'm on
Yes,
one.
so you just need to try to be creative and to manage your time well. So you need to, you know, and one thing that I can tell you guys, if your presentation is beautified with graphs and images, it actually shows that you've done good homework, even if you didn't do anything. Do you know that?
Yes, presentation is very important.
It's always look like you know your stuff. So yes, you can put graphs. That's why I was saying that I'm going to show you one of the presentation that we had. It had many images, you know, because at the end of the day, when you are talking to people, they'll be looking at the screen. What is it that you are presenting before us? So correct, you need graphs, Razia. Are there any questions? And are you fully answered?
Yes, I'm fully answered. Thank you.
Obunolo, happy with 1.1 and 1.2?
Yes.
Okay. So once you have told us about yourself and what you are going to be discussing in your presentation, you then give us an overview of what is happening um, in society in terms of the trends influencing drunk driving. Now you need to tell us about competitors. So your question 2 is you providing us some insights into competitors. We did this, guys. You know this. You have done that in F1. You have done that in F2. But here it's just presented in a very unique manner. So you need to identify 2 key competitors for single punch. Remember, you were not given competitors in the brief. Like you would be given for a spa brief, they'll tell you about Woolies Dash, or they'll tell you about Pick and Pay ASAP, or they'll tell you about Checkers 6060. Here it's completely different. We need you to tell us who you think is a competitor for single punch. We have already told you who Single Punch is. You know, it is a brand that targets the youths. It has got 45% of its alcohol content in their product. It targets the customers in urban suburbs. It is also, it can drown, a single punch can drown away your sorrows. So who do you think can then compete with that kind of a brand? You are going to tell us, and you are going to provide 2 reasons why you think these are the competitors for single punch. So here you are going to give us existing brands. Remember, Single Punch is not an existing brand, but you are going to give us brands that are already operating out there. So for example, if it is Smirnoff or if it is Savannah, you need to tell us why you think Savannah can compete with Single Punch. Or maybe it's because Savannah is also available in urban suburbs, or maybe it's because Savannah can also be consumed by the youths. You need to motivate that. Once you have provided 2 reasons for the competitors for Single Punch, you need to dig further and identify the responsible drinking campaigns that the competitors have embarked on. I know Heineken, for example, it has got campaigns on responsible drinking. So you need to go and look at campaigns that they've had either now or in the past or even in the future, then assess the effectiveness of those campaigns. So here you are telling us 2 key competitors that Single Punch must be aware of, and what is it that they are doing are more similar or even not similar to what we want to achieve, you know. Maybe they have done a campaign in gender-based violence, you know, because uh, drunk driving is not the only uh, consequence of drinking, you know. Some people can be violent when they are drunk. So if they've done something that has got nothing to do with driving, but has got something to do with raising awareness in other aspects of social life, you need to tell us about that and assess whether it worked or not. So that's what you are required to do in question 2.1. Any questions for 2.1?
Nope, all good, thanks.
Guys, am I making it very clear or I'm leaving you in limbo? Obunolo, am I doing my job well here?
Yes.
Because remember, you guys are also going to represent my brand at Flume. So I want to unpack this brief as much as possible so that tomorrow, you know, when I bump into these guys on the streets, be like, oh, here's the guy who brought the students who didn't know what they were talking about. Now you are tarnishing my name.
We'll never do that, ever.
Okay. But do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
And also remember, you are going to sell yourself there because you do not know where this world ends, right? Maybe one day you can become the marketing director at Flume, you know? So you are also going to be selling yourself there. I don't know, maybe after this exercise with Flume, Flume might end up employing 1 or 2 students, you know?
Exactly.
Okay. So now we move forward to question 2.2. We spoke about competitors, and now you need to tell us about intermediaries. So you need to identify 2 key intermediaries used by alcoholic beverages. So here it's intermediaries in general that are used by alcoholic beverage brands in South Africa. Do you guys still remember what an intermediary is, or you are still in holiday mode?
The middleman.
Or the middleman, yes. So here you tell us you'd identify any, you know, be it based in Soweto. We just want to see if you can be able to apply these concepts in digital marketing. You know, Shabins, for example, you know what a Shabin is, right?
Yes.
There is, I don't know what you call these. Maybe you guys can help me. You know, these areas where there are beer ladies like Konka, what do you call those?
They're called bottle
Are they
girls.
pubs? Mm.
Are they
What
what?
are those areas? Are they pubs? Are they bars? Are they clubs? What are those?
Konka is a club and a brand, because they also have like Konka pop-up parties at a different venue.
So it's a club.
Yes.
Okay. So those are the intermediaries that you guys will be looking. You'll be looking. Obunolo, you drink, but you're not telling us about those areas. You are a fake drinker, you.
I drink from home.
Okay. All right. Okay. I get you. I get you. So under each intermediary, the same way you did, you are going to do on question 2.1. You need to provide 2 reasons why you think, you know, those intermediaries are capable of distributing single punch products. Remember, an intermediary distributes products. For example, Pick and Pay is an intermediary for Cadbury chocolate because it distributes them, it sells them on behalf of Cadbury, right? So the same thing with single punch. You need to give us reasons why you think an intermediary would sell or would distribute that um, product. Then tell us about the activities that they have around responsible drinking. Yes, intermediaries do have campaigns, do have awareness. Those awareness, they can be either pro drinking or anti drinking. For example, you can have a bouncer at a club who would throw away someone who is extremely drunk and is becoming a nuisance, you know? So it can be a campaign that says if you are going to drink more than five, we'll get you out, or if you behave this and that. And some can even take it further and have initiatives in communities where they say about responsible drinking and at the same time promoting drinking. Remember, as a business, at the end of the day, you want to be liked by societies. You want to be liked by the community where you serve. And at the same time, you want to get sales within that community. So it doesn't matter whether it's something that is morally questionable. For example, let's say you sell condoms or you provide morning after pills that other people from other sect, be it religious sect, or these elders might criticize that, but they also want to see you being responsible in the community. I don't know if I'm making any sense, guys.
Yeah.
Shabin queens, for example, wouldn't want to be seen as tough as you normally see them. So they can have some initiatives in communities at the same time, making sure that their businesses remain top of their competitors. So you are going to do the same thing that you are asked to do in question 2.1. It's just that here you are going to be looking at intermediaries. Some pubs can even extra. I saw with this other movie that I was watching, there was this outlet for parties whereby if you are messed up and you've got no one to take you home, they can give you extra accommodation, though that accommodation, you have to pay for it. So those are some of the things that, guys, I don't want to limit your thinking capacity. We are going to discuss this a lot when we go to question 4. But I want you to come up with ideas that are realistic, that even when you are presenting them, you can actually feel that this is going to work. So that's your question 2 with 2 parts. Are there any comments on question 2.1 and 2.2?
Nope.
All right. You have done your competitor insights. Now let's look at the gist of this brief. The person, the people that you want to engage with, the people who are actually going to be the beneficiaries of this campaign. So you need to tell us who else drinks in South Africa in relation to single punch products. So provide 3 segments and highlight the importance of the given target audience in relation to single punch products. So we know that it's not only the youths who drink. There are other segments that drink. Now it's up to you whether you are going to provide those segments based on age, or based on generations. So you put the youths here, you put the middle age there, you put the baby boomers there, or you even put the teenagers. If you think they are the segment, you also put them that other side. Do teenagers drink, right? Because a youth is 18 to 35. So with teenagers, we are looking at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Do they drink?
They do.
Razia, you said you used to drink long ago. Maybe you were that age.
I waited until I was.
Pardon?
I waited until I was 18.
Okay. So, guys, can I dig deeper now? Since Razia has told us, Obunolo, when did you start drinking?
I started drinking when I was 17.
Okay. All right. So if you believe that teenagers are also the segment, you can then put it there, Then you can even put a justification why you wouldn't consider them as a select. Remember, here you are just telling us who is likely to consume a single punch product. That's segmentation. Segmentation doesn't mean you are going to target people. Segmentation means you are classifying people based on their shared characteristics, their needs, their values. Then after you have segmented them, you can then decide which segment is going to work for me. That's how segmentation works, guys. So here you're not telling us that people at 17 are going to drink, but you're telling us that chances are high that they are going to drink. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yes, you're making sense.
Okay, so that's what you need to do. So there, guys, I'm going to give you a pointer that you are only going to add 2 more segments. The question says you must provide 3, but remember you already have 1 segment there, right? Which segment is it?
The youth.
Yes, you've got the youth segment already. So you are going to give us the features of the youth segment and 2 extra segments. Don't kill yourself looking for 3 segments from the sketch. They've already given you 3 segments there. Then now you need to select the segment for single punch and highlight the importance of the chosen segment. Already here, the segment has already been chosen for you guys. We don't have to make things difficult. I know some students who do things in a hurry and stuff like that are going to select another segment other than the one that has already been selected in the brief for you. Here, sometimes the clients always want to see if you can actually follow what they want. The client has already told you that they want the youth segment. So I expect everyone to select the youth segment. But now your answers are going to be different because it says that you must mention the importance of the chosen segment and how important market segmentation is when coming up with a strategy. So highlighting the importance is now going to be different from Ogunolo's or from Razia's. Razia can tell us it's the use because of A, B, C, D. Ogunolo can tell us it's the use because of A, B, C, D. And facts are out there, guys. You have done segmentation several times. So you need to go out and find out what is it that youths do. That's and then contextualize it, link it to single punch. That's how you are going to justify the reason for selecting that segmentation. Am I making any sense on question 3.1?
Yes. 3.2 I can see is my favorite question.
All right. So
Actually,
now you guys are saying something I didn't hear. You said it's your favorite question, then Obunola, I think, said something.
I said B too.
Yeah, I think this is where you guys you drown your sorrows away like a single punch. That's why I take a lot of your marks from this question, right? All right. Today, I promise I'm going to make it as clear as possible, like I did during the full-time class. It's not only you guys. So even the guys in the full-time class, they struggle with a buyer persona. It is also called a segment profile. Okay. All right, let's dig deeper into question 3.2. Create a buyer persona and describe the persona of the target audience provided in the brief. If you may allow me, I'm going to use a relationship example to make it, appear more clearly, because I feel like with many youths, we understand things when they are being explained from a relational point of view. Since it's only ladies in this class, let's say you want a partner. You have decided that you are in your late 20s or in your early 30s. It's time to settle. You need a partner, right? So your objective, something that needs to be achieved at the end of the day, is that you have got a partner. Please listen to me very carefully. So the first thing that you do, you have already identified a need or a want of a partner. You look at all the partners out there, like everyone who has got a characteristic of being a partner. Then you segment male people if you want a male partner, because you can also want a female partner. So the moment you are delineating the partners, you are narrowing down. It means that you are segmenting them. So you can segment them based on gender, saying that I'm going to have a female partner. So it means that you're going to ignore all the male partners. Or if you're going to have a male partner, you are going to ignore all the female partners. Then you can further segment them based on their age or their generations. You can then say, these are the partners that are out there. They are youth partners, those that are 18 to 35. They are middle-aged partners, those that are 35 or to 50. Then there are senior citizens, those that are 60 to 80, whatever criteria that you use. Or maybe there are even Ben 10 partners, those that are teenagers, that are 10 to 18. So you have done your segmentation, which is question 3.1, right? Now you need to create a persona of the partner that you want. Meaning, before you are looking at this partner, you already have your ideal partner on your mind. You have already told yourself that you need someone who is going to be tall, or someone who is going to be short, or someone who is going to have six-pack, or someone who is going to have a car, So now this is not based on your segment. Your segment is providing you the basis, but it's based on your imagination and what you want in a partner. That's a persona. So you are creating an imaginary person in your mind, an ideal person that you are going to want as a partner. Then after coming up with everything that you have put in your mind, you then say, this partner, I'm going to draw this partner from the youth segment, because chances are very high that the youth is going to have a six-pack, or the youth is going to have a car, and so forth. So that's how you come up with a persona. To summarize what I've just said, a persona is your ideal customer or your ideal imagination of a characteristic that is on your mind that would suit what you want. So in this scenario, you have already selected youth as your target segment. Now, not all youths drink, right? Or not all youths drink the same quantity of beer or the same brands for beer, So now as single punch, you are aware of that. Who is your ideal youth customer? Who is it that you want to resonate with? Is it someone who's not employed, or is it someone who is employed? Is it someone who is outgoing, or is it someone who is always indoors? Is it someone who is bubbly? Is it someone from a specific location? Like, is it someone who is based in Cape Town or Johannesburg? You know, because youths are everywhere in South Africa. Is it someone who is single or married? Are there any facts that says that people who are single drink more than those who are not single? So that's when you come up with your ideal person in your mind. This one is non-existent, but based on the strategy that you want to come up with, what are the criteria or the benchmark that you'd have on your ideal single punch customer? Did I confuse you guys further?
No, but it makes sense, like in terms of the strategy, we creating an ideal person. Makes sense, yeah.
Remember, your strategy is not going to speak to all the youths. You have got an ideal youth that you want to target there, right?
Yes.
That youth is a persona. Okay, so now let's go to the question, because we didn't answer the question. Where is the brief? Create a buyer persona for a typical, as you can see that way, typical single punch youth customer, and provide justification for the person you have created. So here you'll be just telling us, you know, maybe it's a 24. Remember, youth is a broad term. So now your persona will tell us the exact person that you need to target. Is it a 24-year-old, single, or a bachelor living in Cosmo? You know, but whatever that you're saying has to be justified. So this person is likely not to cook on a Friday and would like to hang out at this bar and stuff like that. You need to justify even the place, you know, you need to justify the age, you need to justify everything that you're going to say about that person. Once you do that, you then give us features. You then give us features of the persona you think is going to add value to your strategy. How are you going to give us features? You go and do research. There's research about single people and how they conduct themselves out there, like single youths, you know, the freedom or the independence that they would have. So you are not telling us your assumptions here. You are telling us the features that are based on psychology and that are based on the research that has been done elsewhere. You would find all this information about the youths. Remember, this is about the youths, you know. Then you have got the 10 marks on your question 3. Obunoro, do you think now it's straightforward? You can get your 20 marks here.
Yes, definitely.
Razia, here I know that you are capable of even getting a 0 if it was the previous assessments. Does it make sense now?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right, cool. So any questions on question 3?
No questions.
And as I've told you guys, you know, these things can always apply in real life. And I think, as I've said, that there's a project that you are running that you normally apply these things, you know. I also do that whenever I come across a real life scenario. This thing does not end with digital marketing. You can always apply it to real life situations, be it in family, be it at church and stuff like that. As I've already given you an example for marriage. So you guys, when you decide it's time to have a partner, you would still do the same thing, you know, unless if you believe in those things that we are meant together, someone is waiting for me out there, blah, blah, blah. But you also need a strategy in order to make things work. All right. So already we have covered half of the brief. You have introduced yourself. You have told us who you are and what is it that you are going to do. You gave us the action plan of what you are going to cover in the presentation. You told us about what is happening out there in terms of statistics, in terms of the trends related to drunk driving. You then told us about the competitors and why you think these are our competitors and what is it that they are doing related to responsive drinking and anything related to alcohol consumption. You then told us about the intermediaries. Who do you think can distribute the single punch products and what is it that they are doing in terms of the campaigns that they have currently or those that they have had in the past related to responsible drinking. You have then segmented your market base. You told us who you actually going to target and why you are going to target that person. You even have a persona of that person. Now we need to hear your idea, how you are going to use um, an idea on the person that you have selected, considering the trends that are out there that have given us, the competitors that have given us, the intermediaries that have given us. Now you need to tell us what is it that you want to do in order to achieve what needs to be done. So you are going to tell us in question 4, what is it that you are going to do to raise awareness in responsible drinking and reward youth single punch customers. So that's your question 4. And you realize that your question 4 is the heartbeat of the entire presentation. That's where you come up with the tactics. That's where you come up with the action. Remember, we spoke about SOSTAC last semester. You know how you formulate a strategy. So this is where you need to come up with an idea. And that idea must consider everything that you said here in 3.2, 3.1, 2.2, 2.1, 1.2. You know, you can't come up with an idea if you don't know what is happening in terms of drunk driving in South Africa, for example. You can't come up with an idea when you do not know who you're competing with. What if your ideas won't will actually make you a worse competitor? You can't come up with an idea without knowing how the product is distributed. You cannot come up with an idea, of course, if you do not know the segments out there and who you're going to target. So your idea must consider all those 3 questions. So you need to come up with an objective, and that objective, that is your idea. Now, with that idea, you need to tell us how specific is it, how measurable is it, how actionable, achievable is it, how relevant is it, and for how long is this idea going to take place when implemented, which is time bound. So the objective that you have, it has to be passed through the SMART criteria. Outline a SMART objective of the digital marketing strategy that fits in with the key strategic messaging of when you drive, never drink. So how are you going to strengthen or solidify this messaging? So this messaging needs to come up in a fun way. Remember, they say that no matter how serious it is, it can be shared in a fun way. So how can it be shared in a fun way where you are raising awareness and at the same time rewarding responsible youth drinkers? So the objective, guys, the idea that you need to come up with, it can be in form of anything. It can be in form of a site. You know, maybe there's a website that people need to go to when they're about to drink, to monitor their drinking, whatever it is. Maybe it's an application, you know, when you are drunk, just open this mobile application, then a car will come to your location and pick you up so that you don't drive. Remember, the strategy is when you drive, never drink. So it means that if you are driving, stay away from single punch, right? So it can be in form of a software, something that has got a panic button, whatever that you guys want to come up with. It can be just an idea or an activity, You may think of that to raise responsible drinking awareness and deliver effective customer experience and resonate with when you drive, never drink. So that's something that you'll not find in a textbook, and that's something that we want you guys to come up with creatively, innovatively. Think of something that is clever, something that is not a fantasy, but something that can be realistic. Are we clear on to 4.1?
Yes.
Babe,
So,
are we all good?
yes.
You understand what you are required to do on 4.1, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now we go to question.
Can I just ask, just to clarify?
Yes, you
So
feel free. Yes.
we must come up with an idea that we must then create smart objectives for.
Yeah, so you are coming up with an idea, then that idea, you test it with the SMART criteria.
Okay.
Remember, SMART is just a model whereby you just filter your idea with specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, or time-bound. So if you are putting that idea into SMART criteria, you can actually elaborate on your idea that it's going to be specific in such a way that it has to be A, B, C, D. Is going to be measurable because this is what you want to track. It's going to be achievable because this is the tangible thing that you want to achieve. It's going to be relevant because this is how it's going to reduce drunk driving. And it's going to be time bound because it's only going to happen during Easter, or it's going to happen for 6 months and stuff like that. So the idea remains the same. The objective remains the same, but you need to see whether it's smart or not.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Because you can have an idea and you realize that this idea is not specific, it's not measurable. Like it is not smart, It does not fill in all the acronyms for SMART model. All right. Now we have got 5.2. I don't know. I think I discussed 4.2 with you, Razia. By that time, Obunolo, I think, was gone. Did we talk about the 5 eyes of customer extension, Razia?
I think so. It sounds familiar. I'm just trying to go through my notes to see when we went through it.
Okay, chances are very high that we did. Unless if that lesson ended abruptly. All right. So there are notes for that for week 15. So you guys need to discuss customer extension and identify ways that will provide key perceptual advantages for single punch. So this is still part of your strategy, guys. Remember, you are supposed to come up with your idea. Once you have your idea, now apply the 5 eyes to your idea so that it cements your idea. So these are the 5 eyes, because I don't remember discussing the 5 eyes with you guys, but these 5 eyes are for a long term relationship with brands and making sure that there's extension and there's retention that customers come back for more. So the first I is, please jot it down, because chances are that I'm not going to talk about this, because today we need to talk about something else. So the first one is individualization. No, sorry. The first one is identification. These 5 I's are also at the rubric of this brief. So if you have downloaded the brief already, you scroll down to the last pages of the rubric, you'll find these 5 I's. And they are also in the textbook. I think it's page 258, if not mistaken. So the first one is identification. You need to identify. So your idea needs to identify who you're going to speak to, who you're going to engage, who you're going to target. So you identify those people. It's the same thing with buyer persona that I told you guys. Remember, many concepts in marketing not operate in silo. They are always interlinked. So you can even link this with buyer persona. So you need to identify who you are going to talk to. Where is he best? What is it that he does? That's the first I, identification. The second I is individualization. The other terms for individualization, what are those, guys? Let me hear you. They use them a lot in banking and insurance and in marketing. What is the other 2 terms for individualization? Obu?
If you say in terms of banking, is it not KYC, know your clients? No?
Not really, no. But it is a component of it, but not really. Keep guessing. All right, let me explain individualization. Maybe you guys can come up with it, but it's part of KYC. I know that. So individualization, remember the first one I said it's identification. So once you have identified your customer, then you individualize them. You look at their individual needs. Hmm? Like they do this and they do that. So you sort of differentiate them from others. You identify someone, now you know their needs, because if you do not know customers' needs, how are you going to engage them? If you do not know that a youth out there needs a bottle of beer on a Friday morning, how is your idea going to engage with them? So you individualize. What's the other term for individualization? Yes, coming to know about them, it's part of KYC. But what is it, guys? I know it's a very simple term, and when I say it, you guys are actually going to feel foolish.
Can we
All
get a hint,
right.
maybe?
Pardon?
Can we get a hint, maybe?
Okay, there are 2 terms. The first one starts with P. Then the second one starts with C.
Personalization.
Yes, it's personalization. Remember, you now want to know people according to their individual persons, right? Like their needs, personal needs. So it's personalization. Banks and insurance use that, It's individual. So personalization is actually another word for individualization, even from a literal English point of view. I think so, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the other name? You have mastered the P, the one that starts with C.
Customization.
Good, good, good. I wanted to say good girl, but since you said you're young, I don't want to call you a girl. Since you said that you're not young. So, okay. So when you think about the second I, just think about personalization or customization. But you can't say personal because that's no longer part of I if it starts with P or it starts with C. So we've got identification, we've got individualization. Then once you have identified your target, your customer or your audience, and you have identified their needs, personal needs as individualization, now you can interact with them. So the third one is interaction. So you'll be engaging with the audience that you know about their needs that you have identified. So your idea needs to speak to the right audience where you know their needs, where you have identified them, and where you can personalize the engagement with them. So the third one is interaction. We have got identification, we've got individualization, we've got interaction. The fourth one would be integration. So you know your customer, you have identified your customer or your audience, you have identified their specific personal needs, and you have even customized their needs. You can now interact with them based on their personal context. Now you can integrate the systems to reach them. Okay? You can integrate the department. Many companies struggle with integration, guys. I'll give you an example of car dealerships. Let's say BMW sent in have identified you as a customer that you need a BMW vehicle. And they know your personal needs. They've individualized you, knowing that you'd like a specific model based on your individual test. So they customize your test so that they deliver a good experience to you. They interact with you based on that because they know who they are talking to, what that person wants. This person wants a specific model. Now they struggle with integration. You'd realize that the person you talked to last week or last month is gone or has changed the department. Now you are talking to a new person and that person says they don't know you. So there's an integration gap there within the organization. Banks always do that as well. They'll be like, this is not the interest rate that we agreed with you. We know that you spoke with some consultant, but she did not give you enough information. There's lack of integration. She was supposed to put that information that I spoke with Razia last week. This is what we agreed on, so that when I take over, I'm still connecting with you at individual level, and I've already identified you because the system says so. So there has to be integration in the system when dealing with a customer. I don't know if I'm making any sense, guys.
Yes, you are. When you say systems, you're referring to like the customer relationship management type systems, right?
Yes. Yes. All the systems, even the relationship between the sales department and the support department, for example. So the systems within the organization. Remember, the 5 I's are for extension. We want you to extend you as a customer so that we can get more service to us, so that we can get more extended service to us. So if we do not integrate the systems, we can lose information about you. All of a sudden, we act as if we do not know you. Yet you are already in our system, but the sales department can't pick you up. You are only on HR, for example. So there is integration. Then the last one is, any guesses, the last I?
Integrity.
Yes. So the last one is integrity. So After there is the process of identification, individualization. Remember, this is all about a long-term relationship. And if the first four eyes are working well, then there can be some levels of trust, right? If you are raising awareness in responsible driving, your idea must show some levels of integrity that even those who are willing to change. Remember, this campaign is all about changing behavior. You know that, right?
Yes.
This campaign is not about selling product. It's about awareness. How you want people to behave when they are drunk or when they're about to get drunk, or to behave how they drink. So you want these people to trust you, to trust the campaign that you are coming up with, to know that this campaign is for our own benefit, not for the company's benefit. Even if in the end it's going to benefit the company, because society are going to applaud you that you actually care about your drunkards. The beverage industry is the one that most people say that alcoholic brands sort of disown their real customers. I don't know if you've heard that. For
No.
example, we never see a drunk person in an advert, right?
Oh, yes.
So, it's like it's good when we say, oh, drink beer, it's finger licking good, whatever, flying fish. But once a person is drunk, like it ends there, So you need to show them, that you even care when they're drunk. You even care, you even want them to be drunk in a responsible manner, to save society, not to be harm to society. When someone is drunk, that person wants to hit 200 kilometers per hour and harm others. So you need to come up with justifications how the Five Eyes will claim more audience from competitors. Remember, the moment you show that you care for your customers, those customers who have some levels of integrity with you, they'll come back for more, knowing that you can take care of them even when they are drunk, or if when they are tipsy, or whatever you call it. So more customers are going to come to you than to go to your competitors. So you need to highlight the five eyes. So discuss the five eyes of achieving customer extension to make the responsible drinking campaign go viral. In marketing, we talk a lot about viral because the levels of a campaign being viral has got some correlation with that campaign becoming effective. So that's your question 4.2. Are there any questions with regards to 4.2 and 4.1? The session for strategy. Do you guys now know what you are supposed to do? What you are asked to do on question 4? Or it's still confusing?
All good, thanks.
Okay. But guys, remember, I'm always there for you throughout the journey. If you come across something that you do not understand, I truly encourage you to reach out to me rather than doing something with no direction at all and getting lost and lost and lost and lost. Okay. Let me know. Of course, I'm not going to ever give you answers, but I can always show you some directions
Oh,
like we are doing with this brief.
I have a question, quick question. So you said in the beginning, what did you say in the beginning? Sorry.
In the beginning.
No, man. You said in the beginning, apply the theory, don't explain it. So the first point of 4.2 says discuss the 5 eyes of achieving customer extension to make the responsive drinking campaign go viral. So we must discuss the 5 eyes in relation to the campaign. We mustn't explain what
Correct.
it is.
Yes, it does not say explain, it does not say describe, it does not say define. It says discuss, right?
Oh,
So what you are saying is very, 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 very important, because sometimes, that's how it's not like you guys don't know what you are supposed to do, but sometimes, you just miss the instruction or something that you're asked to do. So here, Razia, you are discussing, in relation to the given context. So you are not defining, for example, I was defining for you when I was telling you what identification is. But now you are going to discuss and telling us how what identification is in terms of single punch and the idea that you've raised.
okay. And
Did,
how
did,
we
mhm.
gonna how we going to identify uh for this strategy? So
Mm.
like um how we're going to learn the characteristics of our customers. Basically, we're going to discuss each I based on, like, you get me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just be quick on that one. Like, with you don't remember, Stephanie is not a lecturer. The head of marketing that are going to is an expert. So he's not going to know what identification is, for example, you know, but you are going to tell him. And it's the same thing with your CEOs that you are going to pitch to. Some may be well familiar with other contexts, but these contexts are in the textbook. They are not in the industry. But here you are just going to tell us, even in one sentence, this is how we identify the customer and customize their needs, interact with them, have some integration, and as a result, we are going to have an integration. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say here. You just put it in a sentence. It's enough. You don't
Okay.
say that with interaction we are going to do, because he won't know. Here you are just applying.
Okay.
Obunolo, are we together on that one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's you raised a very pertinent point there. And I didn't raise that in my full-time class. I think I need to remind them of that one. Now we move on to marketing channels. So I'll repeat again, I'll go back from the start. Because I'm trying by all means to make this as clear as possible. You have introduced yourself. You have told us what is it that you want to achieve, that you are going to present on. You did trends. You did a thorough conduct what is happening in society by looking at the trends in drunk driving. You came up with statistics. You identified the competitors. You justified why these are the competitors. You looked at the campaigns that these competitors have had in the past or that are currently having. You have identified the intermediaries and told us why you think they are capable of distributing single punch product. You have told us about the campaigns that they are currently having or that they've had in the past, and told us about their effectiveness. Then you've looked at the segments, anyone who is likely to consume the single punch product. You did segmentation. Then you told us why you want to target the youth segment. You even gave us an ideal youth that you want to target through buyer persona. You came up with the idea and how this idea is going to target the youth and extend through the 5 eyes. Now we want to know how you are going to communicate your idea. So that's your question 5. We want to know how you're going to communicate the idea and how much it is going to cost you to communicate and implement the idea. So realize that the last question there, it's marketing channels and budget. So how are you going, because if you do not communicate the idea, how are you going to make it effective? So one way or the other, this idea has to reach its intended beneficiaries. So how are you going to get this idea to the youth segment? That's what question 5 is all about. All right. Identify marketing communication channels to be used. So you need to provide at least 3 marketing communication channels. Provide the reasons why these channels matter to your strategy. So are you going to use Facebook? Are you going to use a non-drunkard as an influencer? Are you going to use emails? So whatever channel that you are going to use, you need to give us the reason why you think this channel is relevant to your strategy. Then, since you are also required to reward good uh, drinking, you need to highlight 2 rewarding activations to be used to reach out to the selected target audience. So, for example, if personalized interactions are to be used through radio, digital ads and social media are to be used, what would be the reach for each channel? You know, so you need to tell us that. You know, uh, we always see with Take a Lot or with restaurants that you go to, let's say KFC or McDonald's. After you have purchased a product, they've got some rewarding activations there. They'll say, claim a portion of 5 million rands out there by going to this link and put in your review, or participate in this survey. You could win a car. I don't know if you've come across that as consumers.
Yes.
Yes, I'm throwing a lot of ideas to you guys, just trying to show you that most of these things that are being done out there, is the same thing that you are learning in class. So you need to come up with that. So you are going to get marks for marketing channels and justification, and you are also going to get marks for activations. Are there any questions on 5.1?
No questions.
Okay, I think that one is straightforward. But remember, everything that you are mentioned, it has to be related to your idea. You can't think of the marketing channels in silo. They need to speak to the idea, to the SMART objective that we had in question 4.1. So to realize that each and every question here matters to your strategy. This is one body with different parts. They just coordinate together. So that's your 5.1. Then you've got 5.2. Highlight all the costs for the digital strategy that you created for Single Punch. So budget is very necessary in marketing because most clients operate on budget, and people always think that budget is only something that is dealt with by the finance department. But strategists must also be able to know how expensive is their idea, and if the company has enough resources, enough capacity in terms of people, and enough capital to make that uh, strategy work. There are so many good strategies out there by big corporates, but they've never implemented them because those strategies, they were too expensive. They did not have enough budget. Or there were beautiful strategies out there that were supposed to be carried out, but the company did not have enough manpower, to implement that strategy, or it did not have enough resources. And some companies end up outsourcing to make sure that a strategy gets successful, gets implemented. So it is very necessary that you guys, you also highlight all the costs for digital strategy that you created for Single Punch. So you need to practically break down the 5 major costs for the digital strategy, particularly the monies that are required when using marketing communication channels. And if you are going to use your app as an idea, you also need to know how much that app is going to cost. So you need to do practical research on how much media platforms like radio costs and how much apps cost to develop. In other words, whatever you choose to use, you must know how much it is going to realistically cost. There's information out there, guys. You can call Ukozi FM or Power FM. You tell them that you are, what word do they always use? You are a consultant, or you are doing your own stuff. You want to know how much it is going to cost to have an advert with them. They can always give you the rates. And sometimes even if you go to the website, for example, the magazine that I work for, it has got advertising rates on the website. So you can always find this information, and you need to present this information in this layout below. So you can use the layout of this table below. I've just given examples here, guys. It's not like you are going to use all these. It's just examples that you can use on your table. So your table must have a platform, and the activities, then the performance metrics, as well as the total. So remember, let's say you are going to work with a budget of 2 million rands, right? So on your app development, on total here, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but on total here, you can put, let's say app development goes for 500,000 rands. So you put 500,000 rands here. Here, what do you put? You put 25% because 500,000 rands is a quarter of 2 million. Do you get what I mean? So you put 25% here. So all your breakdown must sum up to 100% at the bottom and 2 million here. Your budget must not exceed the one provided in the brief. You need to be very careful with this one because clients are always very strict when it comes to the allocated budget. So the finance department can tell you that you need to stick to this money. If you exceed the money, there has to be real justifications why this is now more than 2 million rands. Are there any questions on budget?
No questions.
Yeah, it's very imperative for us to see your budgeting skills. I know that some of you in real life you struggle with budgeting. And no matter how rich you can be, I know people always rush to unemployment and how tough things are and say that that's why they struggle to budget. But you realize that you spend 50 rand to go to campus, 20 rand on transport, meaning it's 10 rand it's 10 rand, then 30 rand you need to buy lunch when you're on campus. But still you find some people, since today I feel like getting this thing, and this thing now is 35 rand. So it means that you are going to be 5 rand short going back home, right? Do you sometimes, guys, put yourself in that scenario?
Man, all the time.
Yes, so here we also want to know how you can practically spend in the market strategy formulation. For example, are you going to spend more on app development, then all of a sudden you can't afford other things, then you can't finance your strategy. So that's it. Now we go to additional marks. So as I said at the beginning, additional marks are going to be out of 10. You are going to be given 2 marks for non-verbal cues, eye contact, and voice projection. So what do you think are non-verbal cues, guys? Any guesses?
Body language, no?
Body language. What else?
And perhaps like observing your audience, and so you know how to sort of engage them or who to engage with.
Yeah, true. But it's more on body language and body movement. So how are you moving during the presentation? You know, not in a bad way. It can seem like it's very light, but some people would move as if they are now, you know, when you're on stage, you feel like you're the boss. All of a sudden, you're above everyone. I don't know if preachers normally do that in churches. All of a sudden, you feel like you're greater than me just because you're on the pulpit. I don't know if I'm making any sense. You know, putting my hands in the pocket, I'm talking to you. You know, I'm just trying to give you guys a picture because we're talking about non-verbal cues here, and unfortunately, it's a virtual class. I was actually going to show you in class, you know, how some body movements can be offensive and aggressive, especially with ladies in that matter, or maybe society is not yet ready to embrace that, you know. All of a sudden, someone is shaking and modeling in front, you know, things like that. So it may come up as offensive or aggressive to others, or it may come up as graphic to others. So you need to sort of consider how you are going to move your body and how you are going to communicate with your body, as Razia said, that body language. So you need to consider that. I think you guys know what eye contact is, right?
Yes.
Eye contact is always difficult, especially for those who wear glasses, because some glasses have got shades on them. Imagine presenting wearing sunglasses. You can see me as the audience, but we can't see you. I don't know if I'm making any sense, guys. If I'm not, you can always let me know. Okay. Voice projection, as I said, some can be too loud, you know, some can be too low. And the last thing that you want, that you'd expect when presenting is being told that we can't hear you raise your voice. Just know that you're going to be marked down. Or being told that you are shouting at us, you are being too high, reduce your voice. So you need to make sure that you pitch the tone of your voice at acceptable levels. Then, of course, you are going to be assessed based on the content that you have and whether there's a balance between what is being said and what is being presented on the screen. You know, you are also being marked based on creativity. You know, did you think outside the box? What about your slides? You know, is there some form of creativity in them? Are they unique? Then you are going to be assessed based on engagement, you know, how you engage with the audience. Is your presentation isolated, whereby you are in your own world and the audience is also in their own world? Like there's no cohesion coherence between the audience and the presenter. Then, of course, as I said, you are also going to be assessed based on professional presentation and conduct. I know sometimes some people lose their temper during presentations, especially when you are being asked so many questions and you feel like it's now personal. Be like, Obunolo, I think Obunolo here is just pressing the wrong buttons. Why does she keeps asking me XYZ? So that's conduct. You need to be able to control yourself. Even if you are being put on a tight corner, you just smile. You just try to control yourself, telling yourself that, you know what, in sooner or later, this thing is going to be over. You don't have to threaten someone, to threaten to kill someone. At the end of the day, you won't spend the whole day at Flume. In 5 minutes, you are going to be done. And conduct also include your attire and your look, how you present yourself as an individual. As I said, for example, you can't be dirty and your hair is all over the place, things like that. These are straightforward things that anyone can think of, but we normally come across these things in industries whereby maybe someone went for a sleepover, and you just woke up with a hangover. All of a sudden, you got late because of traffic or you missed the alarm. Then you appear in the presentation the same way you were yesterday. You did not brush your teeth. The clothes. You get the picture that I'm giving you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm saying you have to be professional. You have to look professional. You have to smell good, even if you can't afford that expensive cologne or perfume, but you still have to look presentable. How are we going to assess your presentation when you cannot present yourself? There are so many things, and sometimes, yes, there are so many questions about society on things like cleavages. I know that female HR people, especially old people, they are always strict on that. Sometimes you can even be asked to go and cover yourself. I think those things are practically not necessary. We need to live in a society where we embrace diversity and inclusion, but at the same time, we don't have to make others feel uncomfortable because of our presence. So I don't know if I'm making any sense, guys, and if I'm not offending you one way or the other.
You're making sense.
Obunolo?
You're making sense, sir.
Okay. Because tomorrow I don't want to hear stories that Mr. Banda was attacking the way we wear. He said that we must not bring crop tops, we must not bring Converse All-Star and stuff like that. I did not say that, guys. I actually did not say you must wear A, B, C, D. I'm saying you just need to look presentable. That's all that I'm saying. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to drop off. I just had load shedding now.
Okay, I'm almost done anyway. I'm actually done with this presentation. You can always join us. I'll be with Obunolo. So Obunolo, these are some of the things that sometimes
It's
I'll be
Obunolo who
discussing with
said
you
he's
guys.
dropping off, sir.
Pardon?
I'm saying it's Obunolo who's dropping off.
Oh, I thought it's Razia who said that.
No.
Okay, but we're still going to upload this recording on Core Campus anyway,
Okay, thank
like we
you.
normally did last semester.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Razia, as I was saying, sometimes I'll be discussing these things without knowing the consequences. Then all of a sudden I'm misquoted. I had many problems last year, whereby I'll be taken out of context and it will be like maybe I'm sort of prescribing what someone must do, especially as a Christian. So I did not say anything, guys, about what you must wear and what you must not wear. But just know that you're going to be marked based on how you present yourself. If you decide to come naked, it's okay. but I don't know how you're going to be marked. All right. So we are done with everything on the brief aspect. Are you okay with the 110 marks that I've given you so far?
Yes, but I've noticed a discrepancy in what you've said versus what's on the brief, right? So if you go to page 9 of 14, to point number 2, it says the presentation must not exceed 15 slides, in brackets,
I'll
15
come there.
minutes. 15 minutes.
Yes, I'll come there.
Oh,
Here I
okay.
was just asking about the 110%.
Oh, all good there. All good.
Oh, good. Okay, now we can go. We can scroll down. So here there's a problem. I say that you must submit a hard copy. It's not a hard copy. It's an e-copy, an electronic copy. Okay.
Okay. A soft copy.
Because a hard copy is something that you print. So it's a soft copy, an electronic copy. And on what you are going to submit on Core Campus. So here, everything that is being said here now, I'm now saying Razia, it's about your submission to Core Campus, not your presentation. All right.
Oh, okay.
Your submission to Core Campus, not your presentation. Okay.
Okay.
So you need to put your name and everything that you need to put there, the usual stuff that are always being done. The reason why we asked you to put all your details because the system is centralized. There are students from Durban and Pretoria who also upload on the same platform. So if you do not put your details, chances are that your work is going to be marked by someone else because I cannot identify you as your lecturer. Then, formatting. Remember, this formation that we are talking about, it's about the submission or the presentation, as I said. Okay. So, the work that you are going to submit there, considering that you are going to get your stuff from your presentation slides that you are going to submit on Core Campus, it must not exceed 15 slides, which is equals to 15 pages, as I said at the beginning. So it must not exceed the work of 15 minutes. I shouldn't be taking more than 15 minutes when allocating your marks on Core Campus because you've got more than 15 slides. So this does not mean you are going to present for 15 minutes.
Okay.
Your presentation is going to be 5 minutes. It's very unfortunate that I'm realizing it now that we're supposed to put it somewhere that you are going to present for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, because you can see here, the presentation must not exceed 15 slides, excluding the cover reference. You must not put this on your presentation anyway, because your assessor, Stefan, doesn't know anything about references. The references, you are going to put them when you are submitting on Core Campus.
Okay.
Am I making sense? And now,
Yes.
okay, so it's definitely not 15 minutes. It is 5 minutes. But your slides that you are going to upload on Core Campus must not exceed 15 minutes or 15 slides. Here, trying to say that normally someone will spend a minute per slide. So this is the normal things that you do when submitting online. And then at the bottom, there is the rubric, the breakdown of your marks. As you can see here, I have the 5 eyes there. Can you see them, the one that we're discussing?
Yes.
All right. So this is your presentation in general. And I'll mention something that I also mentioned, I think to my marketing class, if not to my other class, is that if you struggle with presentation, or let me say it in a very offensive manner, If you feel like you are a pastor's wife and you talk too much, you need to practice before you present. So I challenge you, Razia, or anyone else, that you need to complete this presentation on time. If you live with your siblings, or if you do it on your own, or if you've got a partner, you can just set a timer, and see how you can complete all this work in 5 minutes. So that by the time you are presenting at Flume, you already know how fast you need to be or how slow you need to be. You don't want to reach that stage when you are being told it's time up, because they are going to physically shove you off the stage if you exceed 5 minutes. So I do challenge you to practice this. I've done that several times. I've been to interviews, lecturing interviews, when I'm told that I need to give a mock lecture in 30 minutes. They give me a topic and I need to finish everything in 30 minutes. Would you consider doing that?
Wow. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Or you are covered? You think you can just boom at Flume, then you're presenting, then that's it?
No, no, certainly not. I definitely need to time myself.
Okay, so that's it about the assignment brief. And I hope this assignment is going to be very straightforward to all the students, and I'm expecting the 90%. What are you hoping?
I'm also hoping for the 90%.
Okay. All right. Are there any questions with regards to the assignment, the technicalities of it, and everything?
Okay, just a clarity. So we're gonna do the presentation at Flume, and then upload onto Cole Campus. It's what we have on our presentation, but rather in a written document.
Yeah, not only what you have in your presentation, you can also have notes, the ones that you did not put at Flume.
Okay.
So you are actually not limited as long as it is not more than 15 pages or slides.
Okay, and then you'll let us know how it will work in terms of like presenting at Flume. Do we have to book a specific day, or what's the procedure?
Yes, true. I'll let you know the time and the day in advance. But what I can guarantee is it's going to be between 16 and 22 September. But
Okay.
I'll let you know in advance. I won't, tell you when it's tomorrow and you are not ready and stuff like that.
Okay.
Remember, this is the first time Boston is doing it, and you guys are actually lucky because this did not materialize last year. So the fact that it is the first time, we are going to have technical or administrative issues here and there, but at the end of the day, we are going to make it work. So if there are inconsistencies or any technicalities, just bear with us.
Okay.
But you are going to, it's always good when there's communication. That's why I always want to engage with my students, because for someone who is a ghost student, like someone who never attends class, only want to get things from core campus. If there is no clarity, students always get lost.
Yeah.
Like this one says you are going to present in class. I think it says so on core campus. Then all of a sudden you are submitting a presentation on core campus and you don't go to present at Flume. That's zero. it's the big challenge that I also had last year, you know, with ghost students. Someone who think because they've submitted online F1 and F2 and they did that with no challenges, they did not even come to class, they did not even attend anything, then it's not going to be like that. This semester we need more engagement, and that's why I try by all means, even if I realize that you are my student, we've never talked, I'd rather text you and tell you what's going on. So I'm going to reach out to Pindile because at the end of the day, believe it or not, I don't do this for money. Yes, I need money to survive. But I want someone to say tomorrow, there was this guy who helped me understand this concept. This guy, even when I felt like I don't feel like learning, you know, he helped me to do so. Because there are also some people that I give credit to who did the same thing to me. Yeah. Okay, let's. Mhm.
No, I'm
So
saying.
let's have a.
Oh,
Okay, I didn't hear you. Can you proceed?
no, I'm saying that's true. I mean, even here while I sit, my mother sits not too far away from me, and she's been a fan of yours for the longest time. So like in awe of your, you know, you're so smart and you get along well with your students. So you're doing a great job. And I definitely think that a lot of us can and will in the future attribute our success to how we were taught.
And I love that. And thank you so much for that. You know, that's a motto for humanity. Unfortunately, some people do something because they are doing it for the sake of it, you know. But some of us do things because we love doing it. And we want to leave change there. And we appreciate the change that was left in us, you know, to be where we are today. There was also a lecturer who taught me, who invested in me when I felt like, you know, even at the moment, I'm struggling with my PhD, and there's someone who's actually pushing me the same way that I'm pushing you guys. Someone that I'll say, yo, you were very harsh on your comments. You see the way you view my comments on you. I'm also viewing someone's comments on my work. So it becomes a chain of comments. Yeah. All right. Let's take a 10 minutes break. It's been a while. We freshen up, then we do the sessions for today. We only have 2 lessons today, so we are not going to take that long. As we can see on core campus, we've got lesson 92 and 93 and 94. I don't know if you've seen that already.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll see each other at
22.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.